So there were few tennis courts next to my house, and that's how I started tennis as a hobby. And by the age of around 12, 13, I started enjoying the sport a lot. So I started going for some tournaments, some state level tournaments, and some national level tournaments. In fact, I've also been to the Velamal campus in Ponneri once to play the tournament. I think in under 12 or under 14. I don't remember exactly. Um, so that's when I started competing in various state and national level tournaments. Uh, and to be honest, I was not a very good junior. I mean, I was not very good when I was 14 or 15. So I always used to be around like top 30 in the country or top 40. So I never used to be inside top 5 or something like that. But I feel what made the difference for me is when I was around 15 or 16 years old, I started getting exposure in a lot of higher level men's tournaments. And in fact, like a lot of players asked me, like, why are you starting to play men's like in such a young age? Because it's tough to compete with them. But I actually enjoyed it because I really used to like competition. And initially, I was losing a lot of matches, but those experiences helped me learn a lot. And when I turned around 16 or 17, I was able to use those experiences and win some matches in the men's circuit as well. And in fact, like I've never won a junior nationals till now. So I won the nationals in men's, but there are many players who are like better than me in the junior category. When I used to play, like personally, I know many people, but the main thing that I think is by playing men's at such an early age, I was able to handle the losses much more better than the other junior players, because I feel as a sportsman, it's very, very important to learn how to deal with losses. Because especially in tennis, there are like so many players playing the tournament. Let's say 50 to 60 people playing in a tournament, and only one person is going to win the tournament. So I feel that ability to handle losses and the fear of handling losses it's very important. So personally, when those junior guys came into the men's category, they were used to winning a lot of matches, and suddenly when they started to lose matches in the men's, they felt very dejected and demotivated. So this is one aspect. As sportsmen, like we need to know that winning is not the only thing, and we need to know that losses are a part of the game, and we just need to focus on the process, on how to improve and go forward. And also, when I was young, I was able to identify my strengths. Like my I have a really good defensive ability, so I was able to focus on my strengths a lot, and I think that's what helped me also do well in the men's circuit. um, so yeah, many people say like you need to work a lot on your weakness as well, but I think it's like yes, it is true to an extent, but you also need to make your strengths even more stronger so that you'll be able to go higher up. Because it's better to have like a very good strength rather than being average in all the categories. So I feel that is also an important thing. As sportsmen, we need to identify what are our strengths or what are we naturally good at, and try to develop that along with improving on your weaknesses. Rather than only focusing on your weaknesses, you need to also focus on improving your strengths or making them even stronger. So that is one thing. um, and yeah, there were a lot of tournaments. Like I started taking part in international tournaments also at a quite young age, when I was around, let's say, 16 or 17. So I would really like to thank my parents for that. They were really supportive. Without the parents' support, it's really difficult. And also their involvement in the sport was very less, because I feel that has also helped me achieve or be where I am today, because they never used to put any pressure on me like that I have to do well, or I have to win or something like that. They let me take all my decisions, which also helped me a lot, and I was able to play more freely. I i didn't have much pressure, because I know many players whose parents were very tough, and they were feeling a lot of pressure. So I think that aspect also helped me a lot, my parents. And also, one more thing is, I don't know how many of you have heard of this term. It's called visualization. So, I mean, be it sport or anything that you do. So I'll just explain what visualization is, like in case you guys are not familiar with it. So it's just like imagining uh, the possible scenarios that can take place during uh, the activity, or when you play or something like that. To give an example, uh, I don't know if how many of you guys follow tennis. So I'm taking an example from tennis. In the 2019 Wimbledon final, Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic played in the final, and Novak Djokovic won that match in a very close match. Like, I think it went for more than 4.5 hours. And after that, during the post-match interview, the interviewers asked Djokovic, because that time the entire crowd was supporting Federer, because there are a lot of fan following for Federer. So then they asked him, like, the interviewer asked him during the post match interview that, there were so many people supporting against you, that is for Federer, and how are you able to handle that? And like the reply that he gave was really fantastic, because he said, even before the match started, he imagined in his mind that it is going to be like that a lot of people are going to cheer against him. And he says that before even the match started, he was actually prepared for that situation. So that is one big takeaway, big key takeaway from that, because even before the match started, he was prepared for such a situation, so that when that situation actually happened, he was not surprised, and he was able to handle it really well. So yeah, I think visualization really helps you a lot, especially in times when you feel very nervous, because as sportsmen, it's very normal to feel nervous, or little some fear might be there. It's not possible to always stay positive. There will be a lot of ups and downs. So during that time, I think, whenever you're feeling a little down or negative or nervous, I think visualization is a great tool. And like, for example, I can imagine myself playing a very good point, like before even the point starts, so that my mind is ready to execute that. So I feel this is a very important part, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, but it actually plays a really very important role. And the most important thing is, whenever you're taking up a sport, it's very important that you enjoy it. Like, you shouldn't do it because a third person is saying, like, someone is pushing you to do it. Especially professionally, I mean, you can just, if you're doing for leisure activity, it's okay, because you need to stay fit in normal as well. But in case you're taking it up as a profession, you really need to enjoy it, because it takes a lot of discipline. You need to wake up early, do some routines. So I've been following a lot of this for so many years, because I enjoy it. Like, otherwise it's not possible to do it. You might need to make a lot of sacrifices. For example, I don't know, I didn't have a very good school life or college life, like you guys. I hardly used to go to college. So, but in a way, I don't regret it, because that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do well in tennis, and that was a decision I had to make. So I had to make some sacrifices. On the brighter side, not everyone gets this opportunity like me, because I know many people who really wanted to go in the sports line, but unfortunately they couldn't. And that way I feel really grateful for all that I have and the line that I've chosen. I really enjoy playing the sport. And recently I also got a job with the income tax department through sports. So I'm working as the inspector of income tax. So yeah, it's been a good journey so far. And yes, and if you're taking up sports, you just have to enjoy it and keep going. And I think that's my journey so far. And I'm still continuing to play a lot of international tournaments whenever I have the opportunity. And yes, I would really like to see some of you do well, and also in the future. Uh, and it'll be great to see a lot of athletes coming up from India. So I don't know all of you are sports people, or you're like students and a mix of both.
Yes, sir. We have a mix of both, sir, but predominantly all sport interested students across different sports are there. Okay, from our different branches.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to share is um sometimes when you take up a sport, it can be lonely sometimes, because you might have to do your things alone. For example, in my case, whenever I used to travel for tournaments, I mean, in a way I was lucky because we had two three of us from Chennai who were at a similar level. So we used to travel for similar tournaments abroad internationally. But it's actually like, how do I put it? It can be lonely sometimes, because sometimes you may lose early and may have to wait for the next tournament, and it might take a week's time, or so you need to just keep practicing and working on how to become a better player. So yeah, all these you have to deal with if you become a sportsman, and you need to have that mental strength and that determination to do that, because I feel like sport teaches a lot of lessons in general. Because as I said, if you learn to handle all the situations in a sport, it helps you in life as well. So whenever a tough situation comes up in life, uh, that you can draw all the experiences that you had in your sport, and you can handle those situations in a better way. So, and now in India, there are a lot of opportunities also in sport. Uh, I don't know if you guys know about the sports management and all that. It's really picking up in India. So I personally know many people who are like chartered accountants, or who have worked in IT. They also want to come into the sports side, even though they haven't even played the sport. So I was actually surprised to see that. That shows like how many people are interested in sport. And like, for example, the guy who was working in IT, he wants to do data analytics related to sports. So that's how interested he is in sports. And I would say there is a lot of scope also in India going forward. Uh, there's a lot of events that are happening, and there's a lot of support also coming from our association also nowadays. So it's good to see that. And yeah, and if you guys have any questions, don't feel shy. I mean, even I was shy when I was a kid, so I can understand. But feel free, and you can use this opportunity to learn. And yeah, you can. No question is a good or a bad question. So whatever you ask, I'm ready to answer. So if you guys have any question, then you can go ahead and ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Manish, for this wonderful talk from you, and particularly the point about the visualization which you mentioned. So it should be a very important aspect for all the students, not only in the sports, even in academics, they should practice the point of visualization where they feel that in a certain point of time in future how it is going to be happen. They visualize to be a champion, they visualize to be a school topper, college topper. So this technique
Yes.
is a very wonderful thing which you have shared with us. Thank you so much. And students and the PTs, whichever students who is going to have a doubt or a query or question to ask to Mr. Manish, kindly type in the chat box so that I'll put forth the question to Mr. Manish. I think already a couple of questions have come. Like, who was the toughest opponent so far you have faced? So that's one question which has come now.
Okay. So the toughest opponent I have faced, it's a person from Turkey. His name is I don't know if you guys know him. His name is Marcel Ilan. I actually beat him. So it was a good match, and that match took place in Thailand.
Okay, fine. Next question is like, how did you maintain your education in sports?
Oh
Both.
yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention about that. Um, I was just talking about the sports aspects.
Yeah.
So yes, I was balancing both my tennis and education as a child. I was also good at studies because I personally feel if you're into sports, if you're very disciplined, you know how to manage the time really well. I think that is one aspect that you'll develop. And so I never thought like studying was tough. I was able to manage both well until my 12th, because even in 12th I think I got around 95%. So yes, I was actually good in studies, and it was during the college time when I decided that I have to focus more on tennis. So until then I was doing both, but my schools were also very supportive, so I could go late and come back early for practice. So that is one thing that helped me a lot. That
Good, sir. Good.
answered the question.
Yeah, yeah. So a couple of tennis related questions like, who's your idol in tennis, and which racket you use currently?
Okay, so my idol is you would have figured it out. It's Novak Djokovic. I
Okay, good.
mean, his mental determination is another level. So
Mm-hmm.
he is my idol, and
Oh, your
my
racket
racket.
name?
Okay, my racket is Yonex E Zone
Okay,
98.
okay, fine, sir. And next question is like, what is your warm up routine in tennis?
Yeah, warm up. I mean, you need to do. I do some mobility exercises for around 10 to 15 minutes, followed by some jogs, and then some dynamic exercises, and then some resistant band exercises for my upper body before I start. So yeah, this is my warm up. It takes around, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes overall. Before I start, I take 20 minutes and then I go on court.
Okay, okay, sir. And how do you handle the pressure in the important points? Like he has asked about dues, but tennis being an individualistic sport. So generally, I'm asking in the pressure points, important points, tie breaks, and other places. How do you handle the pressure?
Yes, so that's a very good question, actually. Whoever asked it. Um, so whenever I feel a little pressurized, I normally choose bigger targets. So I don't normally go closer towards the line. I choose bigger targets, and also, like I said, I try to visualize before the point starts on what I want to do in the point, and that helps me execute it better.
Okay, okay. And how do you maintain your loss and win? Because both are going to come together. So how do you handle that losses?
Yeah, I mean that's why it's very important to understand how the sport is designed. It's designed in such a way like you can't keep winning. So if you understand that, I think that will be helpful to deal with losses better. Because if you look at it in this perspective, like I said, there are so many guys going into the tournament, but only one person is going to win, and the remaining 59 or 58 people are going to lose the matches. So if you look at it that's that perspective, I think it's easier to handle losses better. And also,
Fine.
of course, you need to be really strong mentally to do
Mm,
that, because it's easy to get dejected and demotivated. But that
mm,
happens. There are lots of ups and downs. But that
mm,
is sport. That's what you have to understand. It can't always be up, and there is no guarantee. So we just have to put in the work and focus on the process, on how to improve and how to achieve our goals and the things that we're going to do. And I mean,
true.
just keep going. That's the best you can do, because you can't control the outcome. You can only control the things that you can do from your side, and the outcome will follow if you do that.
Fine, sir. Fine. Sir, and next question is like, how many hours in a day you practice?
So nowadays it's a bit lesser. I would say like 3 hours of tennis and 1.5 hours of fitness. But because I also have to go to office and work. But normally when I was in my prime, when I was playing in my 18 or 19, I used to practice around 4 or 4.5 hours, and also I used to do fitness for around 2 hours in a day.
Oh, fine, sir. And what is your diet plan, sir, when you are playing in your peak seasons? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a dietitian.
Okay.
So she makes a plan for me, and
Mm,
I follow the plan accordingly. When at
mm,
least whenever I'm in Chennai, because when I travel, it becomes a little challenging.
mm.
So yeah, she helps me with that.
Okay. And normally, when you are in the peak season, how many matches you played in a year?
Okay,
Like,
that's again a good question, because I feel I when I was at my peak, I used to play around. In tennis, normally we go by the week. We don't go by the number of matches.
mm, mm, mm.
So out of the 52 weeks, I played around 30 to 32 weeks.
Okay, okay,
And the
fine, fine.
remaining weeks, I was training.
Okay, okay, fine, sir. And one of the students has asked about when you went to the international matches, how was the pressure and facing new opponents in a different country and different atmosphere? How did you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, more than the pressure, I mean, as when I was 17 or 18, like I said, I was playing against uh, much higher aged people or more experienced players. So I didn't feel the pressure when I started playing the those tournaments. I was feeling very excited to play, because at that point of time you have nothing to lose, because you're playing a guy who's ranked way higher than you, or who has more experience than you. So at that time I took it in a different perspective. I thought I was very excited to go and compete, because I had no fear at that point of time.
Hmm.
So yes, so to answer that question, I didn't feel much of a pressure actually, to be honest, when I
Okay,
started playing the international tournaments. I was more excited, and I tried to read their game better and try
okay,
to see what they're doing or what their weakness is.
okay. So yeah, a question from my side.
Yes.
Since we have a lot of the upcoming and young students are there who are playing tennis in our sports academy school, like they play regularly from the age of 11, 12, the ITA, CS, NS, and TS tournaments and all. So, what is
Okay.
the path for them from there to go to the ITF level and to the international circuit and other things? If you can briefly explain what they have to do from this age and what are the tournaments they have to focus, it will be helpful for them.
Yes. So I mean, I'll just tell you what I was doing. So
Mm,
it was similar when I used to play when I was a junior, like 10, 12 years back. It was the same system, like TS, and then it followed by championship series. And then I don't know
mm.
if they have super series. Do they have it now?
Yeah, yeah, it's there, yes.
Okay, so they have
That's the
Super
problem.
Series, and so I started with TS, and then I used to play CS. I used to play CS a lot when initial stage of my juniors, and then as my ranking improved, I started playing NS, and then also in the nationals.
Mm,
Uh, so this is when you're a junior. The nationals is the highest tournament in the junior level in India.
mm,
And based on your national ranking, you can get an entry into ITF juniors.
Okay.
So if you're a high ranked player in India, then you can get a entry in the ITF junior circuit.
Mhm.
And then that also has like different divisions like TSCS. They have something called J 300, J 100. Those are all like different level junior tournaments, similar to what we have in the national structure.
Okay.
And then when I was playing, they didn't have this, but now they have it. If you're in the top 100 of the ITF juniors, you get a direct entry into the ITF men's
Okay.
for at least 16 tournaments in a year.
Okay. Oh, fine. Okay.
So that
Okay.
is actually a good pathway, because when that is one of the reasons I didn't play juniors. Because even if I had to make top 100, there was no point because I couldn't get into the ITF men's.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
But
Fine.
if you're not playing juniors, it's similar. Like what I said, you have to do it in the men's circuit.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have different tournaments like 1 lakh, 2.5 lakh tournaments, and then national tournaments. You need to play those and improve the ranking, and then try to enter the ITF men's tournaments.
Fine, sir. Sir, another related question is like, since we know tennis is a bit of an expensive sport, so
Yeah.
is the sponsors required, or the parents have to support themselves, or how normally it works for the students who are going in the higher level and play in the higher level tournaments?
Yes, that's actually a very, very, very important question, because normally the like parents will be very enthusiastic and they'll put their kid like to do really well, but then like they'll understand that it's not possible. So to answer that question, yes, it's actually financially a little demanding sport, I would say. And the sponsors, it's very difficult to find sponsors for tennis, to be honest. That's the harsh reality. So I think if the parents are really well off, it's very good if they can support their kid. Otherwise, I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible to find sponsors, but the player also has to be like really very good to, like he should be number one or number two in the country to probably get a sponsor.
Okay, okay. So the most of the fund support is from the internal source only, from the parents and
Yes, I think it's
then
mostly through word of mouth.
okay, okay,
There's the association. I
okay,
don't think they support now. I think the Tamil Nadu association is better. They're
okay,
sponsoring some top juniors
okay,
in Tamil Nadu, so which
okay.
is good. So now it's changing, which is good.
Very good, very good.
But
Fine,
it's
sir.
better if the parents are also little well off.
Yeah, yeah. Sure,
That is
sure.
one. Yeah.
Fine. And some related like questions, individual questions. How many tournaments you have won so far, and who's your inspiration?
Okay. So internationally, I've won totally 8 tournaments. That's like I said, the ITF tournaments. And yes, otherwise I won many tournaments in the national level.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know the exact count, but
Mm,
yes, I won in different age groups as well, like you said in CS or
mm.
everything. So I don't know the exact count, to be honest. Let's say around
Okay.
30 or 40.
Fine, fine. Good,
Uh,
sir. Good. And which was your prime years, sir? Like when you were at your peak? At what age were your prime years?
so my prime years were right before COVID. So
Okay.
that was when I was playing really well. But
Mm.
unfortunately, like COVID came and it disrupted my momentum a little bit,
Okay.
because the in Europe people are allowed to travel a bit earlier, but in
Mm.
India the restrictions were a lot. So that time my ranking also dropped a little bit.
Okay.
So, but somehow I managed to get back. Uh, but yeah, that COVID was a very tough phase. But yes, when my peak was when I was 19 or 20 years old.
Okay. Okay. Fine. And there's one. Which was your first ever title, and when did you win it? The question asked.
Okay. So my first title was, I think, an under 12 tournament in St. Michael's School. So they organized a state ranking tournament. So I was very small.
Hmm.
So that was when I won my first tournament, and also after that I won the TTT tournament. That was also a state ranking tournament. That used to be popular back then. Now they don't have that tournament.
Okay, fine, sir. And who was your first coach? And was he strict? That's a question asked.
Yes, so luckily, like my first coach is Mr. Suresh Kumar, Sona Chalam. So till date, he is my coach. So I have been working with him for the past, I don't know, 15 years, 15, 16 years. So that way I'm really lucky because not everyone get that opportunity to work with the same coach for so many years. And I'm really happy that we have a very good bond and a very good connection. Um so yes, normally people keep changing coaches, but my first coach is my coach till date. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh, that's excellent, sir. And because sir is also our head coach for our tennis program, so
Okay,
very
that's
nice
good
coach.
to hear.
Yeah,
You guys are in good
yes,
hands.
yes. Thank you, sir. And which is your favorite court in India? So that is a question asked. Like
Favorite court? Okay.
court, yeah. Which court you like to
Um,
play in India?
I like to play in Delhi because I won the nationals there. That's something very special because I've been trying to win the nationals in juniors also, but when I won it in men's, I think you relate that feeling to the court also. So I would say that court means is really special to me.
Okay, fine, fine, sir. And there's one long question which has been asked. I don't know. It's related to Indian tennis in a whole. Like why we are not able to produce so many players after Leandro Paes and Magesh Bhupati in India when compared to Europe or US.
Is that a student who's asked that or someone else?
Yeah, seems the student or a teacher.
That's good. If it's a student, I
Yes,
mean, I'm very happy because
yes.
he's actually analyzed and he's asking. Good.
Mm,
Yeah, like I said, the harsh reality is that the support is not there for the students. Everything has to be borne by the parents, and given the situation of India, like not every parent can afford to financially help their kids pursue what they like, and that is very sad actually. So that's the one of the reason I think, even if you look at Sumit Nagal, he was picked out by Mahesh Bhupati at a very young age, and he was supported in that program. And even Ramkumar Ramanathan,
mm.
uh, all the players who made it big, I think they had really good support. Otherwise, it's kind of difficult. I mean, they were already good when they were doing well, but that support made them even better. And yes, to answer that question, it's because like there's no support from the associations, to be honest. And yes, can't help it. That's our situation.
Fine, fine. Okay, fine, sir. And couple of related questions like that's already answered your toughest opponent and what gives you continuous the motivation to continue still in tennis and reach the greater heights.
Like I said, like I really enjoy competing. Like I have the like how I used to feel when I was in 12 or 14. When it comes to corporate competition, I'm really into it, and I really like to compete because no one likes to lose, of course. So I really try to give my best and try to do well, and that's what keeps me going. I really want to. My goal is to play Davis Cup for India consistently, and that's the reason I'm pushing myself harder to reach that goal.
Okay. One more question, a bit related to the previous question you answered.
Yeah,
Like, one, why we are not Indian players are not able to reach the very high levels of the international European players or American players?
yeah. Like I said, like even if you take Sumit, he trained most of his life in Europe, and that's where like tennis. If you want to make it really big, you need to be there for tennis because they have the tennis culture there, and it's very easy to travel inside Europe. So yes, in order to go to Europe, also you need to have good support as well, like I said. So it's a similar answer.
Hmm.
Uh, because if you see most of the players, they come out of Europe or
Hmm.
US. In
Yes.
Asia, it's very few.
Hmm.
But in doubles, we are very good,
Hmm.
which is nice because there are a lot of players going doing well now, and they are willing to share their experiences. So that is, making them feel that the juniors can also achieve it. So they are getting that
Hmm.
motivation to do it in doubles. So recently, like there are so many good players in doubles rather than singles.
True. True. Fine, sir. I think we will wrap with this final question, sir.
Good
Uh,
morning, sir.
you, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm Devdashni from BBC Attur.
Okay.
I, I have a doubt.
Yes.
How to control our emotion while playing?
Emotion in the sense, do you have any particular emotion like anger or
If
in general?
if opponent had scored more points, how to control our emotion?
Yeah, I mean, you have to see why he's scoring more points than you, right? Rather than sticking in that emotion and thinking, oh no, like many people do that mistake. For example, if they would have played a bad point at an important point, and that keeps running in their mind, and then they lose focus on what they have to do while playing, and
Absolutely.
then they lose track. So
The
at that
Indian.
point, it's important to stay aware that okay, you're feeling this way, and then you have to try to see why he is scoring more points than you and try to counter that by seeing what you can do better. I mean, it's easy to say, but at that moment you have to be present and try to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stages, sir.
Sir, we are from Velamal Verangalur.
Sorry.
Velamal Verangalur.
Yes.
Yes, Velamal, sir. Very nice meeting you, sir.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, nowadays we cannot have such a player the younger players and Amit Raj. Why, sir?
Yes, like I said, like tennis, there is not much awareness about tennis generally in India. That's why and its tennis has also become more physical nowadays. Because I think back in the day, like it was not very physical, but now, like with new infrastructure and even the rackets, before it used to be wooden rackets, and so now it's developed, and the rackets also are helping a lot. So yes, I feel it's like I said, the same thing, the lack of support, lack of awareness of the sport. Like that's why like India is doing well in cricket, because there's so much awareness among the common people. For example, now if you go and ask someone, a normal person, about Mahesh Bhupati, probably he would not be knowing him. But even if you tell a normal cricket player, he might be knowing them. So that is the thing. Like nowhere, no one is aware about the sport as unless you follow it deeply. Like a regular person would not know like the players, like the good tennis players also. Like in fact, recently I asked someone if they know Sania Mirza, and they didn't know, which was actually very shocking. So like I said, there's not enough awareness, I would
Hmm.
say. And that's why it's once that awareness comes, then automatically people start following, and then there'll be more people like watching the sport also.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, from Tondeyarpet, you have asked for a, yeah, you can shoot the question from Tondeyarpet School.
Sir,
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, Tondeyarpet, you can ask the question or you
sir,
can type the question. Yeah.
Yes,
sir,
now I can hear you.
sir, I have a doubt, sir. I'm Prajapati from grade 8. This does tennis is a financially good sport if we take it as a profession, sir.
Okay, that's also a good question. So, like I said, yes, in a way, yes, because if you make it really big in tennis, you will be able to sustain financially. What I mean by really good is you need to be at least, let's say, within 300 in the world, which is not easy. I have been around 500 in the world. So if you need to be within 300, you need to be really good. So only then you can take up tennis as a profession, because once you reach that level, your expenses might come down a bit, because you might get free stay, free accommodation, and then you might get higher prize money for the tournaments. So yes, to answer your question, you need to be inside 300 in singles, and doubles probably around inside 150 in the world.
Thank you,
Fine.
sir.
Thank you. Any more questions, or we can wrap this session?
You can ask me any non-tennis or whatever, like it's fine.
Good morning, sir. My name is Anandika. I am from Tanjavur, Velamalpuri campus in Tanjore. I am having one doubt.
Okay.
How you become in this place?
Sorry, I
you
didn't get your
take-
question.
I think
How-
she's asking how did you take up tennis out of all the sports? Maybe. I think so.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Why did Mr. Manish choose
தமிழ்லயே
tennis?
சொல்லுங்க, பிரச்சனை இல்ல.
No, sir. How you become in this place?
Huh?
How I okay, sir, can you explain that, sir?
We couldn't understand your question. You can shoot in Tamil also.
Yeah, தமிழ்ல கூட பேசலாம், எனக்கு தமிழும் தெரியும், பிரச்சனை இல்ல.
How you become in this place? This position.
How did I reach this position?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Sir, I am from Oloj Tech School.
Yes, sir.
So we will take one by one, sir.
Sir, I am
One minute.
Abad from Oloj Tech School. I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah. Ology Tech, before that, there is one more question which has been asked. Let Mr. Manish answer that, and then we'll take your question. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, how am I in this position? Because, like I said, I had to work hard for it. Nothing comes easy. I had to be very disciplined. First of all, I used to wake up very early, sleep early, and I had to do it consistently. So that is the challenge. You might do it like 1 week or 2 weeks. I had to do it for like years. So it takes a lot of sacrifice. If that answers your question.
Fine, sir. Yeah, from the Ology Tech School. You can ask the question.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I am from Oloj Tech School. My name is Prabhat. Sir, while you are playing, you got an injury, sir. What is your biggest injury while you played, and how you handled that pain, sir?
Yes, so for me, every player gets an injury. So for me, it was I've got two major injuries. One was in my ankle, like right and left. My ankles are really weak. I have a kind of a flat foot, so I keep twisting my ankle. So that was actually really tough. When I twisted it once, it got swollen up a lot, and I had to rest for like 3-4 months. So that was quite bad. But nowadays I am using a ankle brace, so that my ankle is stabilized, and even if I want to twist it, it won't. So it's in now I can avoid my ankle injuries. So in case you twist your ankle at any point of time, you can use a brace.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, do international associations support Indian players or in general Asian players, sir?
International associations.
Yes, sir.
International associations don't support Indian players. They just help in organizing tournaments. They wouldn't support Indian players as such. So Indian players have to be supported by the Indian association or like the state association. Like if you're from Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu association has to support. I don't think like the international association will support, especially in terms of financial this thing. Maybe in terms of your equipment, they might, like the rackets or the kit bags or the apparels. But financially, it has to come from your state or the national association.
Thank you, sir.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Manish. And maybe one final tip, if you want to share with our students, you can share. And wish them the best, and we can wrap up this session.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, why do people don't have awareness like cricket, sir? Cricket has many awareness, but why don't tennis?
I feel because cricket is more entertaining. Would you rather watch a cricket match or a tennis match?
Both, sir.
Okay, would you like to watch IPL or a 5-set match?
IPL.
See, you got the answer because it's more entertaining. That's why now in tennis they are trying something different. They're trying to bring like leagues similar to cricket. I don't know if you know about this. They have started a league called Tennis Premier League. It's similar like IPL, and they have a very short format. Like it's only 20 points per match. And actually, I'll be taking part in December this year. So in case you get an opportunity, you can look at it in Star Sports or whatever.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Manish, for this wonderful session. And we would also like to invite you for our RSA Poneri campus and to train with our students also. So that will be a
Definitely, sir.
wonderful opportunity for our students also. Definitely, we will discuss about it, and you can definitely visit our campus, and in future we will work that out also. Okay. And
Yes.
from our Velamal group, we wish you all the very best for all your future tournaments and to represent India at the highest levels and bring in more medals for our country.
Yes, thank you, sir. Definitely. I mean, if anyone wants to ask a non-sport or non-tennis question, also it's fine because now I feel you guys are bored, the normal students. So if you have any question in general, you can ask me.
No, they're all generally the sports students, so they'll be
Okay.
inclined to
Then it's
more
fine.
of sports only. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Fine, sir. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank
much.
you. And most importantly, like I said, enjoy whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be sport or whatever. Whatever you do in life, do it with that enjoyment, and then you'll see like the results coming in your favor.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much again for giving me this opportunity. I mean, it was good to interact with a lot of students. I have never seen so many students.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
for this
Thank you,
opportunity.
sir.
Welcome, sir.
Hope you guys are able to take out few points from this session. That I'll be happy if you